Hey, how are you doing? Easter is coming up and I'm actually really excited. Easter, sort of faith-wise, is really important to me. I would say it's more important to me than Christmas. I would say that Christmas is still really important to me, but I see Christmas, even though it is like a religious holiday, it's more of a secular family orientated thing, and it's been very sort of taken over, whereas Easter's still seen as like a religious holiday. Easter is obviously really important to me because it is celebrating the fact that Jesus died and then rose again for us. So it's not only Jesus died to save us from our sins and how we can live a different life because of it. The fact that Jesus was able to come back to life just shows how miraculous and amazing God is in doing that. Easter is really what the Christian faith is built on. It's so important to me, and I'm sure to lots of other Christians. So in my life, I sort of see Easter as 5 sort of days. There's 5 days over Easter. There is sort of Maundy Thursday or Passover, then Good Friday, Easter Saturday, Easter Day, so Easter Sunday, and then Easter Monday. And these 5 days I usually try and take off from work so I can really just sort of focus on Easter, focus on what God has done, and really invest in that time. The first day that I talked about is Thursday, is Maundy Thursday or Passover. So this was when Jesus had his Last Supper with his disciples and they celebrated Passover. This was really important because this was like the first example of communion. So when they have the wine and the bread, that's the first example of that in the Bible, and the first time Jesus was like, this is something we should do to remember God. But also they were actually celebrating Passover. So Passover wasn't actually for a couple of days, but Jesus was like, I want to celebrate it early, mainly because he knew he was going to die and he wasn't actually going to be around for Passover, but he knew that Passover was a really important day to remember everything that God had done in the Old Testament to save the Israelites and to save God's people. This is a really important festival still for a lot of Jewish people today, to celebrate Passover and to remember what God did for God's people. And they would usually celebrate it on a Saturday, but I normally celebrate it on the Thursday because that's what Jesus did. It sort of makes sense following in Jesus' footsteps. But also my church would normally, not this year, not last year because of COVID, have a big sort of Passover party kind of thing, meal, dramas, talks, all that kind of stuff, to remember what Passover was, because it's a great story and it's a great celebration of how God saved his people, but sometimes we can forget that and just sort of focus on the celebration and festival aspect to it. So the next day is Friday, which is Good Friday, and that's actually the day that Jesus died, and it can be almost like quite a sad day, but remembering that actually it's good because it's when Jesus died to save us from our sins. It's good because what was prophesied in the Old Testament actually came about, and it's really important to remember this day because ultimately if he hadn't have died, what we base a lot of our Christian faith on wouldn't sort of make sense and wouldn't be true. So Easter Saturday to me is just a normal day. Actually last year I worked on Easter Saturday. This year it's my friend's birthday around that time, so I'm going to go sit in her garden, social distance, have a little party. And yeah, there's nothing sort of like that I'd normally do or celebrate on Easter Saturday. It's just almost like a normal day in the middle of the 5 days. Easter Sunday, so this is actually Easter Day, and this is when we celebrate the fact that Jesus came back to life and that God can do all these miracles and bring people back to life, and that Jesus died for us and he came back to life, and that's almost like the most important part of the Christian faith. And also it fulfilled what people talked about in the Old Testament, what people talked about for hundreds of years before Jesus was even born. They talked about this Messiah that would come down and save the world, and that he would die and come back to life. It showed that all of that was completed because he died and came back to life, and that he fulfilled everything that God had promised his people in the Old Testament hundreds of years before this. I would normally go to church on Easter Sunday. My church is reopening, so it has been closed since December. My church has been closed, but they're actually reopening so we can go in on Easter Sunday, and I'm really excited about that. And I think it'll just be a great time to celebrate everything that's happened, but also be able to see people, but still be safe, social distance, wearing masks and all that stuff. It will be a bit weird, but I'm so happy that this year we can go to church on Easter Sunday, because last year we couldn't at all. There was nothing, my church couldn't do anything for Easter other than just a service online, which was a bit sucky. And then the final day of like Easter is Easter Monday, so this is normally like a chilled out day. It's actually a bank holiday here in the UK, so it's like a public holiday, and so lots of people have that day off. I have that day off, I booked it off, and I'm just gonna chill out and have a picnic in the park with some friends. Hopefully the weather will be decent so we can do that and just spend the time with family and friends and do stuff like that. Easter is really important to me. It is the most important time of the year to me from a Christian perspective, because it's where lots of my foundations and my faith come from, the fact that Jesus died and came back to life. And I love just being able to celebrate it in different ways, trying different foods, spending time with people, and really trying to make it an important time whilst also setting aside some time to like listen to sermons, read my Bible, and actually remember why it's really important. So let me know in the comments what you do for Easter, whether you do all these special things or whether you're just like really excited for the Easter eggs. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you soon. Bye! But actually the miraculous, he came back to life, and that's just incredible and really shows the really shows it's good, because what was